the Samvit and Ladini mix together, then that makes bhav, ecstatic emotion. And when Krishna's ecstatic emotions find the connection, find support of Sandhini Shakti, then they manifest forms. If a devotee in this world is crying for Krishna, feeling separation from Sri Krishna, then it is the nature of bhakti. Bhakti is also Krishna's Swarup Shakti, and it has the power to move the heart of Krishna, to awaken, melt the heart of Krishna. And Krishna reciprocates with that devotee. So if a devotee in this world is feeling separation from Krishna, he wants to serve Krishna, he wants to bathe Krishna, massage Krishna, feed Krishna, then his bhakti moves the heart of Krishna. And Krishna has the feeling, I want to reciprocate it. So when that feeling of the Chit and Ananda, Samvit and Ladini Vritti, finds support of Sandhini Vritti, then Sri Krishna appears before the devotee as Vigraha, the deity. To reciprocate with the devotee, to manifest in a form that he and everyone can see. So, the Lord's feeling of reciprocation, taking support of Sandhini Shakti, and Krishna manifests in a form which is tangible to everyone. That is our here, Sisi Radha Govinda and Sisi Radharama. And when Sri Krishna wants to be tangible, wants to make himself manifest before the ear of the devotee, then that desire, that feeling, taking support of Sandhini Shakti, appears as the Shabda Archa. This is Archa Vigraha. So Krishna has a Shabda Archa, a Vigraha made of sound. So the Shabda Archa is Harinam Prabhu. So he is fully Sachidananda, fully Sri Krishna himself, appearing due to his astonishing Vaichitata. He has a variety of appearances. He has many avatars, Nishinga, Varaha, Matsya, Kurma. So he has his Archa, Shabda Archa, his worshipable form in the form of sound. Jayati Jayati Namananda Rupam Murari. Murari, the Ananda Rup, has come into this world in the form of Harinam. This world is Trigunatmak. Sattva, Rajas and Tamas are always competing with each other in this world. They are never pure. But if you want to transcend this mundane material existence, then you can take shelter of Harinam. And then the very sweet and beautiful nectar of Vishuddha Sattva will descend, and we can have darshan of Sri Krishna and his associates and his spiritual healer. So Krishna is so kind that he made himself easily available to all of us through this process of Harinam Sankirtan. So don't be helpless and hopeless, and never give up on the path of bhakti. Have a very strong faith that by daily chanting the holy name, serving your Thakurji, your deity at home, and hearing Harikatha in the association of Shuddha Vaishnavas, and one day, it is sure, 100%, there's no doubt about it, that you will realize Goloka Vrindavan, the transcendental world. In this life, you can. Only one condition is there in the small print: don't make any offense to anyone. Anyone, not even to an ant. Respect everyone. And then you must be successful. So now we'll begin. Hare Krishna to all the viewers at home. Nama Shrishtam Manamapi Ashachiputram Atra Surupam Rupam Tasagajhamuri Purim Mathurim Goshtuatim Radha Kundamagiribaram Radhika Marvasam Rapto Yasa Pratita Kripaya Shri Guru Tam Natosmi Gurave Gaura Chandraya Radhikaya Tadale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namah Anandalila Maya Vigrahaya Hima Bhaddivyatschavi Sundaraya Tasmai Mahaprema Rasapradaya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Bhaktya Vihina Aparada Lakshmi Chittasya Kamarita Rangamati Krita Mahita Sharanam Prapana Vrinde Namaste Charanaravinda Vrinde Namaste Charanaravinda Govinda Ramo Dharamana Devi Govinda Ramo Dharamana Devi Govinda Ramo Dharamana Devi Govinda Ramo Dharamana Devi. Everyone. Hare Krishna, Hare Radha, Hare Saketi, Govinda Ramo Dharamana Devi. Sham Sundar Shikanda Shikar Smaha Sumuri Manohara Radhikar Sikumam Kripanidhi Supriya Charna Kinkurim Kuru Tavaivasmi Na Jivami Tvaya Vina Iti Vikyaya Devi Tam Namaham Charantikam. First of all, I offer my Sastang Dandavat Puspanjali, my heart like flowers thousands and thousands of times at the lotus feet of my holy master, my supremely worshipable spiritual Gurudev, Asmadeva Paramvaradatam Guru Pada Padma, Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pad, Ashtahotara Sata Sisimat, Rupa Nugacharya Varya, Sila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. Secondly, I offer my pranam thousands of times at the lotus feet of my Param Gurudev to Srila Prabhupada and to all of our Sri Rupanuga Gaudiya Guru Parampara. And finally, I offer my pranam to all the assembled Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis Panchakalpatarus. Svinvataha swadadam nityam karnatascha suchestitham kalena nati dirghena Bhagavan Vishate Vidhi. Sri Shukadev Goswami Pad in Param Mangal, the supremely auspicious Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna's Vanmai Murti, sound incarnation. There he has said that those persons who are engaged in hearing regularly, daily, Granatascha Suchestam, and with great endeavor, you see, hearing from the lips of pure Vaishnavas is not always available or always easy. We may have to make some sacrifices in our life to have that opportunity. Maybe you have to sacrifice everything to have that opportunity to continuously hear again and again. And those who make a great endeavor to do this, then Kalina Nati Dirdena, after not a very long time, then Bhagavan Vishatayatiti, Krishna enters into the heart of that person. That means that even if a person is not making an endeavor to do smarana, prayatna, navasyaka, for those devotees who engage in hearing and chanting again and again, they don't have to make an effort to do smaran, to try to visualize Krishna. Krishna will just walk into your mind. If someone walks into this room, then you don't need any imagination, speculation or anything to see them. They are there. So this is real smarana. It manifests spontaneously, automatically in the purified heart for those who are engaged in hearing and chanting. That's why these angas of bhakti come in that order. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam. Proper hearing makes proper kirtan possible. By hearing, we learn how to do Niraparad, Nam Loile Pai Prem Tahan. How to chant without offense. And chanting offenselessly, then we develop the eligibility to experience this anga of bhakti called Smarana. What is Shuddha Bhakti? Until we attain the steadiness of mind, the state of Shakshitva, then the experience of Shuddha Bhakti does not take place. You know, in Gita, Sri Krishna said, Naiva kinchit karomiti. A person of pure consciousness, when they are standing, sitting, walking, talking, eating, opening and closing their eyes, they know that their senses are engaged with objects, but themselves they are doing nothing. So that stage is called Shakshitva, witnesshood, the stage of being the witness. If we are not experiencing this, if we are not experiencing the sanctity and the stillness that comes from the practice of Bhakti Yoga, where we are a witness observing the weather changing, the world changing, the mind even is maybe many thoughts and ideas are coming, but we are watching only and not involved in that. Then if we don't experience that, then we are like children. Sometimes children play a game, they spin around, round and round and round, and then when they fall over, they feel like the whole world is turning. They're lying on the ground, but they see the trees are going around. So we are like that, in a state of dizziness. So don't be flustered, don't become rustled or disturbed by anything. Sri Krishna said that Yam hi na vyatyanti te purusha purusha shabha samadukam samritatvaya kalpate. A person who is the same in happiness and distress, loss and gain, in all of these things, a person who is steady of mind, then that person becomes eligible for amrita, the nectar of the immortal life that comes from practicing bhakti. So tam stitiksha shvabharata, Hey Arjun, the magic formula is tolerate. Just tolerate. Tolerate, be peaceful, go on hearing and chanting. Gradually the mind becomes steady, nishta, then shakshitva, witnesshood comes, and after that the experience of Shuddha Bhakti. How beautiful. I am not chanting, now Prabhu is coming. I am not hearing, but Krishna's Leelas are doing sporty, manifesting them before my oral reception. You're not doing anything. The only Krishna's spiritual energy is by the mercy of Gurudev, by the mercy of Vaishnavas, by the mercy of Krishna's associates, that is coming to us. So, we want to come into this stage of bhakti. Srinvatam swakatha Krishna punya sravana kirtana hridyantasto hiyapatrani vitunoti suritsatam. When we hear Harikatha, Krishna himself, being our good friend, goes through the ear into the heart and begins to clean all the contamination that has accumulated over countless lifetimes, from beginningless time. And then, Nasta Preshu, Abhadreshu, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, Bhagavati Uttama Shloke, Bhaktir Bhavati Naistri. When not completely pure, but 75% of the filth has been washed away, then one becomes established. Nishta, steadiness comes, and then the experience of pure bhakti manifests. Tadara jastamu bhavas kamalabhadyaste cheta eta anavidham stitam sattvi prasidati, means that now the effects of the modes of passion, worldly desires, ignorance, anger, lamentation, they all subside, and now the flow of one's chitta is unobstructed. And stitam sattva prasidati means that our consciousness becomes situated in the Vishuddha Sattva Swarup, the pure, beautiful, sweet form of Krishna. So devotee is then always blissful. Please forget everything. Forget your own name and your job and what you do and everything, and come with me to Vrindavan. Krishna Govinda Govinda Gopala, Krishna Govinda Govinda Gopala, Krishna Govinda Govinda Gopala, Krishna Govinda Govinda Gopala, Krishna Govinda Govinda son of Nanda Maharaj. He is coming to the end of his Kumar period, about 5 years old. At that time, he is very eager to go out into the forest and do the dharma, the activities of a gopal, of a cowherd person, of a gop. But he is very small, so his parents don't let him take out the cows. They're too big and sometimes too frisky. So let's just give him some calves. So Krishna and his friends, they go out into the forest with their calves. All the boys, they are Krishna's Swarupa Vaibhav. They are not ordinary persons. They are intrinsic and inseparable aspect of Godhead itself. So they're all beautiful, like Krishna. All having various astonishing qualities and personalities that enchant the heart of Krishna. It is said, Vrindavanam pratyaja paramekam nagacchati. Krishna never takes a step out of Vrindavan. Why? Because he's enchanted by the love of all his friends there, the parents there, even the cows, no, even the insects, the bumblebees. All charm him and give great happiness to Krishna. So perhaps you know that one day Aghasur came to Braja, and Krishna, he saved his friends. And when Krishna came out from the mouth of Aghasur, then all the devatas who were in the sky saw this astonishing moment that a great effulgence came out from the body of Aghasur, floated in the air, was waiting for Krishna to come out, and then entered into the lotus feet of this little 5-year-old cowherd boy. All the demigods were astonished. What is this? They began to celebrate. Gandharvas were singing, the Charnas were dancing, the Kinnaras and all the different devas and upadevas. They were having a big celebration, big kirtan. A festival was going on all over the universe, and the sound of that celebration reached up to the topmost planet, Satyalok. The Brahma thought, what's going on? It's a big festival, and no one invited me. Let me go and see what's happening there. So Brahma decided to come. In the meantime, Krishna told his little friends, oh, look at this nice place on the bank of Jamuna. Here lotus flowers are blossoming, bumblebees are humming maddened with the fragrance of the flowers. There's a cool breeze, birds are singing in the forest, and the sand here is so cool and fresh. Let's sit here and have a picnic. So Sri Krishna sat down with all of his friends. When Krishna sat, he sat with his friends in a circle, 1 circle, 2 circles, 3 circles. There were thousands and thousands of friends. But because of his Sarva Sankalpa Shakti, Satya Sankalpa Shakti, because he wants to be with all of them, he wants to talk to all of them, he wants to reciprocate with all of them. So, when Krishna sat down, even though there were thousands of boys, everyone thought, I'm the boy sitting in front of Krishna, and everyone else is around him and behind him. So the Vedas say, Sahasra Purusha Sahasraksha Sahasrapa. God has thousands of heads, thousands of hands, thousands of eyes. Now it became true. Though he's a little boy, and everyone saw he had one, but everyone was seeing his hands were here, his head was there, Krishna was present everywhere, reciprocating with everyone in so many forms, all at the same time. But no one could realize or see that opulence, because in Braja, even if they see opulence, they're indifferent to it. They're absorbed in lokik sadbandhu bhat sambandha, natural family relationship with Krishna. So Krishna was talking with them, joking with them. One bumblebee was flying around his face. Krishna, hey bumblebee, don't bother me, go and bother Madhumanga. Madhumanga said to Krishna, why? What are you saying? Are you sending the bumblebee to bite me? Aren't you afraid of the sin of Brahma-Hatya? Killing a Brahmin? The boys were sharing their preparations, tasting, and then putting in the mouth of Krishna. Some boys that opened their samosas and put some jasmine flowers inside. And, oh, this is delicious, try this. And gave to Madhumanga. Well, yes, I'll try. And then they began to laugh. In this way everyone was having a very sweet time together. At that time, Krishna wanted the moment to be, let's say, interrupted, if you like, with something astonishing and entertaining. So at once, his Leela Shakti and his Satya Sankalpa Shakti attracted Lord Brahma. Come on. Brahma was not aware of it. You see, what's that celebration? Let me go and see. Yeah? But it was Krishna's desire and Krishna's Leela Shakti that brought Brahma there. So Brahma came down and saw this scene. And some persons think that Brahma was thinking, how can this boy, this cowherd boy, be Parabrahma, God? This is not correct. Only Brahma he knows about Krishna. He was already enlightened. He already received Chatusloki Bhagavatam. He became enlightened. But the mistake he made, by the influence of Krishna's Leela Shakti, not by Mahamaya, but the mistake he made was, he was thinking, I want to see more interesting pastimes. And he adopted the empiric approach. The empiric approach is you do an experiment and see what happens. He thought, when the calves wander away, if I steal them and then steal the boys as well, what will Krishna do? Will he be able to find them? Will he not know what happened? Will he come to me and ask for them back? Let's see what happens. So, be careful. There are many teachings in this pastime. And number one is, don't try to find Krishna by the empirical method. Our mind, our senses, our intelligence are all so limited, so tiny. We generally have a little bit of pride thinking, I'm very smart. But all of our indriyas, all of our senses and instruments of knowing have as their object only worldly things. And everything that is transcendental, which is beyond Prakriti, is achincha lakshanam, characterized by inconceivability. Because our mind, intelligence, senses, they're all material. They're all the manifestation of Maya, the material energy. So Maya will only help you be in Maya. It will not reveal that transcendental realm, anything transcendental. So don't try to know God by the empirical process. The process is swaha, surrender. Followed by prachodayat, please, by your causeless mercy, reveal yourself to me. Because I have no other way of knowing you but your sweet will. This is the process of transcendental knowledge. So Brahmaji came, and while the boys were eating, they noticed that the calves had wandered away, and they became worried. Krishna said, don't be worried, I'll go and get them. And he was still eating. He had some rice and fruit in his hand, and some pieces of lemon, and amla pickle. Also, it's very nice with the rice and yogurt mixed together. So he got up with that in his hand, in left hand, and he set off. But when he got to that place where he thought the cows may be, there were no cows there because Brahmaji had stolen them, apparently. And then he came back to look for his friends, and when he got there, Brahmaji had stolen them also. But actually, you know that Krishna's calves, any calf, any friend of Krishna, any bumblebee of Vrindavan is 1,000,000 times more powerful than Lord Brahma. So he actually cannot do anything. So what happened? Only Yogamaya covered the boys and the calves. They were still there, but covered them. And the Mahamaya manifested some replicas of the calves and the boys. And Brahmaji took them and put them, the Mayic expansions, in a cave, and he thought that he put them to sleep by his mystic power. So in the meantime, Sri Krishna came back and he was looking for his friends. But really, he knew everything. For Krishna, he wanted to play with Brahma. You know, like children sometimes they play hide and seek, or they take something from someone and hide it somewhere, like this, so he's a little boy. So when the biggest, most powerful demigod in the whole universe comes to bewilder him, well, let's hide some things there and here, see what happens. So then, see, Krishna, he knew everything, but he was acting as if he knew nothing. In the meantime, Brahmaji, he went to his planet. When Brahmaji arrived at Brahmalok, then the gate to his palace was closed. Let me in! Who's there? It's me, Brahma, Chaturmukh Brahma. I'm the king here. Then the doorman, he opened the door. He said, you imposter, get out of here at once, otherwise we'll beat you. And then he slammed the door in the face of Lord Brahma. Why? Because Krishna knew exactly what Brahma was doing, and in that very moment that Brahma stole the calves, then Krishna expanded himself, took a form as Lord Brahma, sitting on Brahma's throne, and told his gods, an impostor will come pretending to be me, don't let him in. So then, after Brahmaji had this experience in Satyalok, then he thought, I made a mistake. I should quickly go back to earth. Perhaps I can fix it before it gets out of hand. So then Brahmaji, on his swan, he has a swan carrier, flew down to earth as quick as he could, and when he arrived there, then he saw that Krishna, exactly as he was 1 year before, was taking a picnic with all of his friends. Why? Because when Brahmaji had thought that he'd taken the friends, but really he hadn't, they were just in a slumber and covered by Yogamaya, Krishna had an idea. He thought, how can I go home without my friend Sridham? Because my brother Balaram didn't come that day. It was Balaram's the birth nakshatra, so he had to stay at home and give cows in charity and be blessed by the brahmanas. Yeah. So Krishna was thinking, if I go home without my Sridham, then Balaram loves him so much, he'll feel so much separation. So then Krishna, he expanded himself. And he personally became each and every cowherd boy. Sridham, Sukhbal, Dham, Vasudham, Vaju, Labanga, Stoka, Krishna, Madhu, Mangal, Vasan, Kokil, Banga. So many boys, each of them with their own characteristics, with their own ornaments, with their own memory of their relationship with their parents, everything. And he became all the calves too. And Krishna, with all the boys and calves, just returned to the village in the evening, keeping a secret from all the parents. Like, oh yeah, all your children have gone. Yeah? So Krishna was pretending to be all of them. Then at night he would take rest. In the morning he would, in the forms of all of his friends, wake up in the morning and come to his house. Knock on the door. Hey Kanaya, come on, it's time to go out. So he'd call for himself in the morning in so many forms. Like this, for almost 1 year, Krishna was doing this, going backwards and forwards. Why would he do this? So many beautiful things are illustrated in this Leela. Finally, when a year was almost over, Balaram was with Krishna and they were taking the calves to graze in the bottom of the valley of Govardhan, and their fathers were on the top of the hill with the cows, and those cows had their newly born calves, and these calves were born the year before. But those cows on the top of the hill left their newly born calves, which cows never do, and came running down the hill, and the men tried to stop them with their sticks, but they couldn't stop them. So the cows were running with their tails in the air and their front and back legs joined together, and they quickly came down, and then they began to lick the bodies of their elder calves, and then the elder calves began to drink all the milk. So the cowherd men on the top of the hill, they were quite angry, they were quite upset, and they came running down the mountain, and they were ready to rebuke their sons. But somehow or other, when they got to the bottom of the hill and they saw their sons' faces, their hearts melted and they just embraced them and they sniffed their heads and tears came in their eyes and they didn't say anything. Balaram was watching all of this. Balaram was thinking, the calves, here these older calves, the cows love them as much as the cows love Krishna, and they've given up their younger calves. And the parents, the men are showing as much love to their sons as they show to Krishna. What's going on? So that question came in Balaram's mind. But actually, all this type of weird stuff had been going on for almost a year, but Balaram never saw it. He didn't see it. Why? Because he was 100% covered by Yogamaya. This pastime Krishna is showing that Ishvara, Ekala Ishvara Krishna are Sabhavritya, Yari Yaiche Nichayan Taichi Kori Nircha. There's one Ishvara, one Supreme Controller, and that's Krishna. Even all Krishna's expansions, even Balaram, even Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, Mahavishnu, you name it, every single incarnation, all under Krishna's control, they dance according to his tune. They're omniscient, omnipresent, all pervading, but at any time Krishna can cover them. He's completely independent in that choice. But he's dependent on the love of his devotees. That's why he's doing all of this. The subtext, if you go deeply into any Leela of Krishna, the subtext is one thing. Krishna loves his devotees. So, for the whole year, Balaram was 100% covered by Yogamaya, he didn't know anything. But now, 25% of Yogamaya withdrew. And so a question came in his mind, that's strange. What's going on? See? Before he couldn't even ask the questions. So that's the nature of Maya, whether it's Yogamaya or Mahamaya. If we're covered by Maya, then we don't even ask questions. Like the ordinary person. Everyone's getting wrinkly, their hair's going grey, teeth are falling out, they're dying. Wow, that's weird. Why is that going on? No, they don't even ask a question. Why? 100% covered by Maya. 100% covered. Even though that's the strangest thing, we're just all born just to struggle and die. No one thinks, well, that's strange. So, when by the mercy of Vaishnava association, then a little bit, the grip of Maya on our mind becomes a little bit slack, then atato brahma jigyasa. Then we think, I want to inquire into the truth. What's the truth? Why am I here? What's the purpose of life? Why am I suffering? Is there a way out? What's the goal of life? How can I attain it? So, first, when 25% of Yogamaya was withdrawn, Balaram, then he asked the question, there's something strange going on. Then another 25% went and an answer came to him. He thought, is this the work of some powerful demon? Is this the magic of some great demigod or some great rishi like Narad? Then, so that was now 50% was gone. Then another 25% went away. 75% clear, 25% was still there. Then he thought, no, wait a minute. I can't be bewildered. I am Balaram. I can't be bewildered by the magic of Narad or any Devata or anything. So that can't be the answer to the question. Then the last 25 went away, and Balaram looked, and then he looked at his brother Krishna. It's you, isn't it? It's you. And Balaram said, oh Prabhu. Balaram never calls Krishna Prabhu. But he said, oh Prabhu, why have you become all of these boys and all of these calves? Why did Balaram say Prabhu? Because being brothers, they share everything with each other. And when he realized that Krishna had done something secretly and didn't tell him, then he thought, why didn't he tell me? Did he think he could share his secret with me? And a wave of dainyabhav, humility came over him. So sometimes, Prema eka ei apurva prabhav, Guru samo lagoke karaye dasya bhav. Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami Pad said, love has a special quality And that is that whether someone is senior, the same or junior to Krishna, then Dasya Bhav is there. But in the seniors and the equals, they don't generally feel Dasya Bhav, but due to love, when they feel some humility in the relationship, then as a Sanchari Bhav, for a moment some feelings of Dasya, servanthood come. So Balaram said, Prabhu, then why didn't you tell me? Very sweet. So then, when 1 year came around, again Balaram had to stay home for his birthday. And Lord Brahma came down to earth, and then he saw Krishna was with all of his friends playing. But they were not his friends, they were himself expanded. So then Brahma thought, but I put Krishna's friends and calves sleeping in this cave. So Brahma went to the cave and saw they were there. And then he came back and saw they were there. And then he thought, what's going on? Does Krishna, when I go there, move them and put them there? And when I go there, move them and put them there? Or are there two sets? And if there are two sets, which are the real ones and which are the Maya ones, illusion ones? So then Brahma thought he'll figure it out. So with two heads he looked in the cave and two heads he looked on the bank of Jamuna. And he saw there were boys exactly the same in both places. Now what should I do? So then as Brahmaji was looking on at Krishna and all the boys, then the boys, they turned towards Brahma. They said, hey, Aja! Aja means unborn. You know, Brahmaji comes, he's not born like an ordinary person, he comes from the lotus of Govardhaka Sai Vishnu. So he's called Aja. Aja, without birth. But Aja also means a goat. So the boy said, hey Aja, you're really Aja. You're really like a goat. And they began to smile and all became blue, like fresh rain cloud. All became huge, with 4 arms, carrying the club, disc, conch and lotus flower, with a garland of Vaikuntha and the Kaustuba money on their chest and the mark of Shrivats on their chest also. And he saw millions and millions of Vasudeva forms. Krishna wanted to show this. Why? Because at the dawn of creation, Krishna in the form of Vasudeva had given Chatusloki Bhagavatam to Brahmaji. And Brahmaji meditated on that and became enlightened and had the darshan. So Brahmaji's Ishtadev at that point was Vasudeva Krishna. So Krishna of Braja manifested unlimited Vasudeva forms with 4 arms. And each form was surrounded by 8,400,000 species of life. All the species of life in the universe. From the demigods, through the human beings and nagas and snakes, down to even blades of grass. And all these beings were dancing and doing kirtan and worshipping those forms. All the elements, earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, ego, the senses, the sense objects, and the Mahat Tattva and Sutra Tattva, 24 elements personified, were all offering prayers to those forms. Karma, Kal, Swabhav, personified, were offering prayers, performing kirtan. The effulgence coming from each one was overpowering. Brahmaji, just the waves of opulence that he was seeing, it was overpowering him. He couldn't even think. Only in his mind came the words, Kim idam. What is that? And he was like a doll made by a child from mud, standing before a deity. You know, if in a village a child makes a doll from mud, it's very rough looking. So Brahma is a very big and powerful and beautiful demigod, but he seemed, because he's from this prapancha, the world of elements, in the presence of this vast spiritual opulence. Then Krishna knew he couldn't take any more. It was beyond his capacity. And Brahmaji fainted. And then Krishna, by Yoga Maya, you see actually these forms of Krishna, the Paramatma, Narayan, Krishna's form itself, all of these forms are everywhere at all times. Only Yoga Maya sometimes reveals them and sometimes conceals them. So in the case of Brahmaji, first they were concealed And then these forms were revealed, but Krishna's coward form was concealed. And then these forms were concealed, and then Krishna's coward form was revealed. So then Brahmaji, he opened his eyes, and he rubbed his eyes like this. He rubbed all his 8 eyes. And he looked, and he saw Krishna was there, with a yogurt in his hand, and he was searching. Hey Subal, Madhumangal, where are you? This was on the part of Krishna, Natyam. Shukadeva Goswami said, Natyam means a drama. It was a drama. Why? Because at every step of the play, Krishna knew where his friends were and what Brahma had done, what Brahma had thought he'd done. He knew everything. But Krishna was playing as if he were just an ordinary, ignorant, cowherd boy. That's Natyam. But we see, whenever Krishna is playing with his friends, not with Brahma, with his friends, with his calves, with Mother Yashoda, with Nanda Maharaj and with gopis, it's never said that his lila is Natyam, like a drama, that he's pretending. Because he's not pretending. Because Krishna's nature is, Yaya tamam prapadyante tanstataiva bhajamyam. I reciprocate with everyone. So because Brahmaji knows that he's Bhagavan, then in the presence of Brahmaji, he's Bhagavan. And he knows everything. So when he's doing the activities of a coward boy, I don't know where my friends are, where did Subal go? Then he's pretending to be like an ordinary coward boy, because actually he knows everything that's happening, and he knows everything that's happening because he's interacting with Brahma. But when he comes in the lap of Mother Yashoda, he can bewilder Brahma and powerful demigod, but when he's in the lap of Mother Yashoda, if a mosquito comes, oh, Maya, wow, mosquito. Then his mother has to say, he cannot save himself from a mosquito. And then, he's not pretending to be a coward boy. He is a coward boy. Because that's Krishna's greatest quality. Krishna has 2 greatest qualities. Prema Vasyata, that he's controlled by love, and Bhakta Vatsalata, that he's so affectionate to his devotees. These 2. So when he's with Brajvasis, he's not pretending. He really thinks he has the abhiman. Gopaveshavena Kara Navakesho Natabara. I am a coward boy. I am the son of Nanda Maharaj. I am the son of Yashoda. Yeah. So, but in front of Brahma he was playing like that. So then Brahmaji, seeing and realizing that actually this little boy is the origin of unlimited forms of Vasudev, unlimited forms of Narayan, Vishnu, Paramat, everything. He realized this fact. Just as Krishna said in Gita, Atha kim bahunaitena, kim gyatena tavaduna, istabhyaham midam kritsnam, eka angshena stito jagat. Hey Arjun, what is the use of all this detailed, expansive knowledge of my opulences? Just understand this one thing. With one tiny fraction, one portion, eka angsa, of myself, I pervade and support unlimited universes. Yadyad vibhuti matsatvam srimat urjitameva va tattad eva vagatstam mama tejang sasambhavan. Krishna told Arjuna in Gita, you should know that whatever beautiful, opulent, glorious and splendorous things there are in all creation, that all of this has manifested from a tiny spark of my splendor. Brahmaji, he had some realization before, but now he had practically seen everything in the Lila. So he got down from his swan and he fell down at the feet of Krishna and he washed the feet of Krishna with the tears flowing from his 8 eyes. And he touched the feet of Krishna with his 4 crowns. So his 4 heads were facing 4 directions. So he had to give Dandavat Pranam. At least 4. He gave many times, but he had to turn around. So he gave Dandavat like this, front, sideways, backwards, the other side. Like that. So that each one of his crowns could touch the feet of Krishna. was trembling. And when he finally composed himself, he began to offer prayers. So these prayers are called Brahma-Stuti. Very, very important prayers. Chapter 14 of the 10th canto, Brahma-Stuti. So beautiful. All devotees should try to learn some of them, all of them. The prayers are very special. Why? Because the Aishwarya Gyan and the Madhurya-Lila have come face to face. Lord Brahmaji, he knows Krishna is Bhagavan. And he's come to Vrindavan. But Krishna, in his sweetest feature, as a cowherd boy, he's standing before him, not even looking at Brahma. And Brahmaji glorifies Krishna's sweetness. No midyate prabhapaseta didambaraya gunjavatangsa paripitchala sanmukaya vanyasraja kavalavetra vishana venu lakshmasriye mridupate pashupangujaya. He said, you are the only object of worship for every living being. You know, there are three things: Brahma, Jiva and Jagat. God, the living entity, and the material world. So all the manifestation of the material world, they are temporary. They disappear. So they're not worshipable. Then they're jarred. They're not even conscious. So nothing in this world is worshipable. Nothing. Not your iPhone, not a Lamborghini. Nothing is worshipable in this world. And the Jiva. The Jiva is at least conscious. But the Jiva is tiny, atomic, very limited in potency. So the Jivas are also not worshipable. But the Supreme Lord, who is Vibhu, unlimited, and He's the shelter of all other existences. So Brahma, that is Bhagavan, He is a worshipable. And of all the forms, Brahmaji had seen that the origin of all the forms is this cowherd boy. So he said, no midyate aprabhapaseta didambaraya. You have a complexion like a fresh rain cloud. Why? Because your mercy extinguishes, like a rain cloud extinguishes the blazing forest fire, your mercy extinguishes the blazing fire of material existence, and you are like a rain cloud because your devotees are like chakora birds who are thirsty. Chakora is a bird which only drinks water not from the ground, that comes directly from the cloud. And they look at the sky with very thirsty eyes. Please give me mercy. So all the devotees, Krishna's like a cloud because he's like a cloud for the chakora of all his devotees who are very thirsty to serve him. Or you are decorated with the yellow pitambar, which is like a lightning on the dark rain cloud of your body. Your hair is decorated with peacock feathers. That means that in Vaikuntha you have a golden crown. But in Braj, you are so sweet. Better than a golden crown full of jewels are some peacock feathers tucked in your hair. And you have earrings, not made of gold and jewels, made of gunja berries from the forest. So this is a sweet form. And Vanyas Straje, you have a garland of forest flowers. These flowers of the forest are superior to the Parijat flowers, wish-fulfilling, fragrant flowers of heaven, Swargalok. And you are standing in front of me. You have a flute tucked into the right side of your belt, and a stick for controlling the cows in the other side of your belt, and a bugle for calling the cows also stuck in the left side of your belt. This is your paraphernalia, piece of bamboo. You are Parameshwara's supreme controller, but to control the cow you need a stick. How very sweet. And in your left hand, Kavala, means you have some rice and yogurt. Lord, this rice and yogurt and some amla pickle, this is superior to Lord Narayan's club and disc, and he's holding the chakra and lotus, Krishna's got some snacks in his left hand. Lakshmasrei Mridupate Pashupanga Jaya, and you're standing with these small lotus feet, small sweet child's feet. Pashupanga Jaya, you are the son of a Pashupa. Pashupa means Gopa. By these words, Brahmaji was saying, Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda, they are more fortunate than Vasudeva and Devaki. So Brahmaji was absorbed in what? That is the Rupa Dhyan, meditating on the Rupa Madhuri, the astonishing sweetness of Krishna's form. So Krishna wasn't looking at him, Krishna wasn't speaking to him. But telepathically there was some communication. Oh Brahma, how can you say I'm worshipable? I am just a cowherd boy. Walking around barefoot in the forest. How can you say that? So then Brahmaji, he said, Asyapi deva vapuso madanugrahasya Svecha mayasya nahi bhuta mayasya kopi Neshe mayi tvagaritam manasantarena sakshathadeva kim utatma sukhanubhute. Very, very beautiful. Brahmaji is saying, no. Asyapi deva vapusa. Your body has such potency, such potential, it is beyond the estimation of my mind. Because usually, if you see an elephant, huge elephant, you think, he must be really strong. He could just roll over my car casually. And if you see an ant, or a little pussycat or something, then you think, oh, this is a small form, so potency is not so much. But Brahmaji is saying, here you are standing in front of me like a little boy, but the potency in your spiritual body, I just can't imagine it. It's far beyond the power of my imagination, my estimation. So he's saying, Asyabi Deva Vapusa Madanugrahasya. This form of yours, Madanugrah, which has shown mercy to me. What is that mercy? I saw all these forms of my Ishtadev Vasudeva. But then you mercifully, you hid them and showed me your original sweet form. Vapusa Madanugrahasya. And what is the nature of this sweet form? Svecha mayasya. Svecha mayasya. Nahi bhuta mayasya kopi. Svecha mayasya means that, and this is very, very important, Swa Icha Maya, that Krishna's form appears due to the Icha, the desire of Swa, his own devotee. Krishna has many forms, many pastimes, and he appears, he's not independent. Ham bhakta paradino hyashvatantra ivaduja. Krishna said, I am not independent. I am subordinate to the love of my devotees. So Krishna's forms appear wherever they appear due to the love of his devotees. Krishna has this sweet form of a cowherd boy in Vrindavan because of the natural love of Brajvasis. And that Krishna's form appears in this world. When Advaita Charya calls, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes. When a pure devotee sees his Ishtadev in his heart and just desires that all his disciples should serve that Ishtadev, then he comes out in the form of the Vigraha, the deity. So in whichever way the form of the Lord appears, he always appears because of the love of his devotee. If Krishna will appear in your heart, if the holy name will appear on your tongue, it's why? Because of the desire of Gurudev. Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado yasya prasadam nagati putopi. By the mercy of Gurudev, one attains the mercy of Krishna. And without the mercy of Gurudev, one cannot attain any type of auspicious destination. So Svecha Mayasya, this body of yours has unlimited potency which is beyond my estimation, but one thing I know about it is, wherever it goes, whatever it does, it's because it's dancing to the tune of your pure devotees. Svecha Mayasya, Nahi Bhuta Mayasya Kopi. I know that you are not Bhutamai. Your body is not made of any mature elements, earth, water, fire, air or ether. In this verse, Brahmaji is saying, Sakshat Havaiva Kim Utatma Sukhano Bhute. He's admitting that he has 5 types of ignorance. The first type of ignorance is this: Krishna, even with my 4 great heads, and 4 Vedas have come from my mouth. I've studied all Vedas, even Bhagavatam. But still, I cannot estimate the power in your body, your divine transcendental form. That's the first ignorance that he's admitting. If I can't estimate the astonishing Shaktis of your childhood form, that is he was in Kumara-Lila, now he's just gone into Poganda-Lila. Then, how can I estimate the potency that you manifest in your Kishora-Lila? Because later, Krishna will become adolescent and you perform beautiful pastimes with the gopis of Vrindavan. So if I can't understand you now, when you're practically a toddler, then what can I say about in the future when you start dancing with the gopis? That's just way beyond me. That's his second ignorance. Then his third ignorance is, he said, if I cannot understand the potencies in this divine spiritual form, then how will I ever understand Sukhanubhute, Atma Sukhanubhute, the joy that you feel subjectively in your spiritual body? When you go out into the forest to take the calves to graze on the bank of Jamuna, what pleasures are you feeling in that Leela? I cannot imagine it. That's my third type of ignorance. Kimut Atma Sukhanubhute. Atma can mean Krishna's self, or it can mean his antaras, his associates. And then Brahmaji said, my fourth type of ignorance is, now I understand that all these boys that you're playing with, they have Satchidananda Swarups just like you. So I cannot estimate the extent of the happiness of Subal, Madhumandal, Sridham, all these cowherd boys. That's my fourth ignorance. And then my fifth ignorance is, I cannot estimate the amount of pleasure when you, Krishna, in your astonishing transcendental form full of joy, meet with your friends in their astonishing forms full of joy and play together. That's way, 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 way beyond me. So by this second verse of the Brahma Stuti, Brahmaji is helping us with our Sambandha Gyan. Sometimes, I've heard Krishna's pastimes in it. I know about this, but that's Mahamaya. So then Brahmaji, he said, but there is a way to understand this joy that you feel when you play with your friends. Jnane prayasamudapasya namanta eva jivanti sanmukaridam bhavadiyavatam stane stita srutigatam tanuvam manobi ye prayasojita titopya sittaistilokyam. If a person will stop trying to understand with their feeble mind, if they stop trying to measure the distance to the sun with their shoelaces, then what should they do? Jnane prayasam udapasya namanta eva. Just bow down to the pure devotees, to the katha emanating from their lips. Jivanti sanmukaritam bhavadiya vartam. Wherever the sweet Harikatha is flowing, go there and sit and with the greatest honor bow down and worship the sound of Krishna's Leela coming from the mouth of the pure devotees. Worship those devotees and all those who are listening and those who are cooking and managing and decorating and everything. Whatever is in connection with Harikatha, hold that to be the most sacred thing in your life and your object of worship. And if you do that, stane stita, you stay where you are. No need to change your ashram, no need to go on Tirtha Yatra to Badrinath and everywhere. Just be in the association of pure devotees and listen. And simply by that process of listening to Krishna's pastimes with honor, then Krishna, who is Ajit, unconquerable, will be conquered by you. Krishna is only conquered by love. So the dhvani, the suggestion of the verse, is that by listening Prem, pure love will come. Otherwise, the other types of transcendentalists who don't take to this path of bhakti, Srayam Sritim Bhakti Mudasate Vibo Krisyantiye Kevala Bobudalabde Tasam Aso Kleshala Eva Shishyate Nanyadyata Stula Tusavagatinam. If someone gives up this very easy process of bhakti to try to do the Vedic studies, yoga, austerities, and yagyas and all of these things, Brahmaji already admitted, he said, I've got 5 types of ignorance. Now Brahmaji knows how to do yoga, he knows how to do tapasya, he knows all the Vedic yaga, he's done everything. And still he's saying, all these things are beyond me. But you'll attain it by hearing Harikatha. So if you give up this process of bhakti and try to do the other things, then, especially the impersonalists who follow the path of Gyan, then they work very hard, but they just suffer. And at the end of the day, their profit is just like the profit of the threshing the paddy, the husk, rice husk. If you have rice paddy and you beat it and you separate the rice from the husk, then someone can take the rice away. But if you keep beating the husk trying to get some more rice out, then your only profit will be perspiration. Your own hard endeavor. So Brahmaji said that all of the processes, they are completely futile. They give no access to the transcendental realm. Because Krishna is Satchidananda and Bhakti is of the same nature of that Swarup Shakti. So if we don't take shelter of Bhakti, then we can never have access to that nature of Krishna's Swarup. So then Brahmaji, he said, Tattenu kampam su sumikshamano bunjana evatmakritam vipakam. That's, I think devotees know this verse. Brahmaji said, if a devotee in this world considers, oh Krishna, everything is your mercy, that whatever happiness is coming in my life is a result of a side effect, incidental result of bhakti to you. And whatever suffering is going on in my life is because of my own offenses. But I accept that also. Because like a loving father sometimes gives praise to the son and sometimes clips him around the ear, but it's all for the benefit of the son. So similarly, the devotee accepts all things in life. And during his lifetime, by his body, mind and words and from his heart, he's always glorifying and serving Krishna. Then Brahmaji said, for that person, Mukti Pradei Sadaibak. Just as the son, after time, inherits the wealth of his father, it's only a question of time. So one who lives a devotional life, it's only a question of time before they inherit the direct service of Krishna's lotus feet. Brahmaji thought, I have been glorifying Krishna so much and speaking about Krishna Tattva, but Krishna's not giving any response. So I realized that what's really dear to Krishna are his devotees. So perhaps he'll be pleased with me if I glorify his devotees. So then Brahmaji, he said, Ahoti dhanya braja gauramanya stanamritam pita mativrate muda ya sambibo vatsara tatma jatmana yat triptaya dhyadya nachala madvarya. Very beautiful verse. Oh, he said, oh, how astonishing it is, how astonishing it is that you assumed the form of all these calves and all of these boys. Why? Because you wanted to drink the nectar of the breast milk. of all the mothers of Vrindavan. This is the reason. He could have bewildered Brahma in so many ways, but when Brahma stole, he didn't even steal the calves. Yogamaya just covered them. But he covered them because Krishna saw, here's my chance. Let me become all the boys and all the calves. Because he's so greedy to taste the Vatsalya Prem of the residents of Vrindavan. Krishna thought, I'm not going to miss out on even one breast. Not one breast will I miss out. I'm going to be all the boys and all the calves. I'm going to drink all the milk every day. Because Krishna himself is greedy to taste the sweet love of his devotees. This is the meaning of this Lila. This is when I said before, the subtext of every Lila is just Krishna loves his devotees. That's why he did it. Brahmaji was just okay. He used him. But this was the real meaning. And also, at that time, Purnamasi Devi said, this is a very good time astrologically to arrange marriages. So then, the gopis, though they were still young, but they did astrological charts and they matched each gopi with some cowherd boy and they arranged the marriages. But at that time, all those marriages, they were arranged to cowboys, but all those boys were Krishna. So in this way, to fulfill these desires, Krishna was officially married, without anyone knowing, to everyone. And Krishna drank the breast milk of all the mothers and all the cows. So Brahmaji said, Aho tidanya prajago ramanya stanamritam pidam ativa tevoda. You experienced excessive bliss. He was saying before, I don't know how much bliss you experienced in yourself. And now he's saying, I don't know how much bliss you felt drinking the breast milk of all the mothers of Vrindavan. He said, all I can say is one thing. Yatripta yadyata nachalam advarya. Myself, Lord Brahma, Shiva and all the demigods, since the beginning of time, have been doing fire sacrifices and offering oblations of ghee into the fire. And from only drinking one drop of the breast milk of any mother, you experience more joy than all of our yagyas from the beginning of time. This is Brahma Stuti. Beautiful, very beautiful. Then Brahmaji said, Aho bhagyam, baho bhagyam, nanda gopar brajokasam, yan mitram paramanandam punna brahmasana. Aho, aho, how wonderful, how wonderful. How fortunate are all these residents of Braj. He just glorified Vatsalya Ras, now he wants to glorify Sakya Ras. Yan mitram paramanandam punna brahmasana. These residents of Braj, this village of Nanda Maharaj, who are your friends. You are their friend eternally. If you have any friend in this world, we can't say how long it will last. Anything can happen. Especially in Kali Yuga, people argue and fall out. But even if you stay friends for life, then you die and then everyone's going in different directions. But Brahmaji is saying no. They have eternal friendship with Krishna. And these are Nitya Parikars. From time with no beginning to time without end, they're relishing Krishna's loving friendship. So how fortunate they are. So then Brahmaji, he was thinking, I offered so many prayers so that Krishna would accept me as his devotee. But I dare not ask to become a devotee like them because they're so great. So Brahmaji said, Tadburi bhagyam iya janma kimapyuthavyam yad gokulepi katamangari rajobhishekam yas jivitam nuinikilam bhagavan mukundas tadyapi yat pada raja shrutimrgyameva. Lord Brahma said, it would be a matter of great fortune for me. You imagine, Krishna's 5 years old, he's about this high. And Brahmaji is like a giant with 4 heads, with golden form, crying, begging, Oh Krishna, It would be a matter of great fortune for me if in some future life I could take any birth in Vrindavan. Even I'm not qualified for Vrindavan, on the other side of Jamuna, in Gokul. If I could take birth there even as a stone. So when the sweeper lady who cleans the drains during the day comes home and she has to wipe her feet before she goes into her house, she can scrape the dirt off her feet on my head. And then I'll be fortunate to serve the dust of the Brijbasis' lotus feet. Why? Yaj divitam tu nikilam bhagavan mukundas. Because Mukunda, Krishna, you are their jiva, their life. You are there. That means that Krishna is present in all of the senses of the Brijbasis. He's present in their eyes, in their ears, in their sense of touch, everything. Krishna is living in all the senses of the Brijbasis. And in what capacity? In the capacity of, how can I serve you? How can I please you? That is God. So what is the position of the Brijbasis? So they are very great. Pajaraja Surti Brit-Gameva. The Vedas personified are searching for the dust of the lotus feet of Krishna, but that Krishna is doing his utmost to bring happiness to all the Brijbasis. So I'm not qualified to be amongst them. Just like to be a stone and get their foot dust. Then Brahmaji thought, oh Krishna, these Brijbasis are so great. How do you reciprocate with them? Aisham gosha nivasinam utapadbhavam kim deva rate tinas cheto vishva phalat phalam tvada param kutrapyan muyati striveshad sadveshad eva putana pisakulam tameva devapita yadham arta priyatma Surit Priyatma Thanaya Pranashayastot Krite. Brahmaji said, my mind is confused thinking about what you give to these Brijbasis in order to reciprocate with them. Because the greatest thing that you could give to anyone is yourself. But yourself you've already given to Putana. And you did that just because she dressed up like a Brijbasi. She's not a Brijbasi. She just imitated a Brijbasi. She just dressed herself like a gopi and came into Gokul and said, oh my son, took you in her arms to give her breast. Only imitating a Brijbasi. And what did you do? You gave yourself to her. So now, what is left over to give to these Brijbasis? I don't know. And when Brahmaji was saying this, he said, these Brijbasis, they've given their bodies, their families, their children, their homes, their wealth, their pran, everything is just for you at every second. What are you going to give them? And when Brahmaji said this, he was wrinkling his nose like that. Meaning, oh Krishna, I think you cannot repay them. You cannot. Sometimes he said, Krishna said to Braj Gopis, Na parayam nira, I cannot repay you. He said to Gopi, Brahmaji is saying, well actually, you can't repay any of the Brijbasis for their love. So Brahmaji was wrinkling his nose and saying, Krishna, I think that you're in debt forever. Yeah? But then someone may say, but some impersonalist sannyasis, they may say, how can you glorify these Brijbasis so much? They're all householders, they're attached to their house and their cows and their family members and everything. How can you glorify them so much? So then Brahmaji, he said, Tavad ragadyos thenas, tavat karagriham griham, tavan mohangri nigadho, yavat Krishna nate janaha. This is a very important verse. There are about 31 verses in Brahma Stuti. We're trying to tell about 10 of them. Another time we'll tell the other ones. So Brahmaji is saying, no. He's giving a very beautiful picturesque metaphor here. Just like if someone is attacked by thieves, they come and they steal your wealth. So he's saying here, Tavat raga dayas tenas. As long as a person has rag, attachments, and different desires and aversions and so on, then those desires are like thieves. If you have a worldly desires, they're like thieves. Why? Because as long as you maintain them, you lose your treasure. Our treasure is that we are Krishna's eternal servants. Our treasure is Krishna's lotus feet. Our treasure is the endless nectar of the spiritual world, and we can't have that. Why? That treasure has all been stolen by us, completely looted. We've been pillaged by what? Our desires, worldly desires. So Brahmaji say, as long as you have attachments, worldly desires, then they are like the thieves. He gives another example. Tavat karagriham griham. If a person is a criminal, then what happens to them? They get put in jail and they're held in the jail by shackles. So he said, similarly, if a person is not a devotee, then they get put in a jail. That's called griha. Karagriham means a jail, and griha means household life. Right? So if someone is averse to Krishna, then Maya puts them in jail. That jail is called household life. Huh? And because there should be some shackles in the jail too. Right? So what are the shackles? Yavan mohangri negado. The shackles are moha. Affection. The worldly affection that we have for our relatives and whatever, our cats and rabbits and dogs and children and bicycles and all these things. Fish. So the affection, this is a moha. Because none of these things are actually the object of love. But then Brahmaji says, Yavat Krishna Nate Janaha means as long as you don't become a devotee. But if you become a devotee, then your desires can be directed towards Krishna. You can desire, I want to serve Krishna. If you have some anger or something, you can direct anger to those who are against Krishna, offenders. Like this. Whatever emotions are there, positive and negative, can all be used in Krishna's service, except for envy. But everything else, Kam, Krodh, Lodh, Moha, Mada, can all be used in Krishna's service. So when we become a devotee, then those things are no longer thieves, they help us attain our goal. And when a person becomes a devotee, then his house is no longer a prison. His house becomes a fantastic place where there's constant hearing and chanting and kirtan and dancing and mahaprasadam. So now his house is no longer prison, his house is also helping him attain the goal of life. And his family members also. Then this becomes just like the Brajbasis, they love their family members. But why? Because they love Krishna. So another devotee now becomes a vibhav to stimulate your own love. They are the Ashray Alamba. Ashray Alamba means one of the stimulation, the things that stimulate our love for Krishna. When we see someone else that loves Krishna, that stimulates our love for Krishna. So Brahmaji is saying, no, you foolish Mayavadi sannyasis, don't criticize the Brajbasis. Their homes and everything, because they're devotees of Krishna, they're all transformed, everything becomes transcendental and favorable. So then, Krishna telepathically, he said to Lord Brahma, "Oh Brahma, you have explained so many wonderful, intelligent, eloquent things. How many great scholars in the world are there who can explain all the Siddhantas like you? You know everything." Brahma became shy. He said, "Jananta eva janantu kim bahukcha name prabhu manaso vapaso vacho vaibhavam tavagochara." Oh Krishna, there may be persons who say, "I know Krishna. I know about Krishna." Let them speak. The As far as I'm concerned, I don't have anything to say about that. But I want to say that not only you, even all of your associates are beyond the capacity of my body, mind and words. Krishna telepathically spoke to Brahma. He said, yes, and you are also beyond my body, mind and words. Then Brahmaji thought, I think it's time for me to leave. He won't even look at me, he won't talk to me. And I can feel that he's making fun of me. I put my 4 noses where they don't belong. I'm not qualified to be here in Vrindavan. So then Brahmaji thought I should just bow down and proceed and let him get on with his pastimes. So then Brahmaji said, see Krishna Vrishnikula Pushkara Josha Dai Shmani Jara Dvija Swani Jara Dvija Pashudadi Vridikarin Uddhama Savar Haro Kshiti Rakshasa Druk Akalpamahan Ahan Bhagavan Namaste. He began to do Nam Sankirtan, that's the best thing. See Krishna Vishnukula Pushkara, these are all names for Krishna. Vishnukula Pushkara Joshanai. He said, Krishna, you are like the sun that causes the lotus of all the Vrishni dynasty to blossom. You are like the moon that increases, makes the ocean of good fortune swell for all the birds and the brahmanas and of Braja, and for the earth and for the devatas. So you're like the sun and the moon. So it said the sun and the moon are the eyes of God. So by the Dhwani, the suggestion, Lord Brahma is actually saying, your eyes are like the sun and the moon. Could you just look at me for a moment? He's begging. Brahmaji said, Uddhama Savar Haro. You come to this world and you remove all the adharma. Shiti Rakshasa Drug. And you become the enemy of the Rakshasas, the demons. That means you fight with them, kill them. That means really you liberate them. By saying this, Brahma is saying that look, when you come in this world, you even look at the demons, but you won't look at me. That means I'm worse than a demon. I'm like a Brahma Rakshasa. That's the worst type of Rakshasa. I'm a Brahma Rakshasa from Satyalok. That you won't even look at me. I'm the lowest of the lowest. Alas, alas. So all I can do, akalpamakam, akam, ahan bhagavan namaste. I bow down to you, akalpam. Kalpa means the duration of, for as long as this universe exists, I bow down to you. Arka means the sun. For as long as the sun shines, I bow down to you. By this Brahmaji, he's just drowning in the Prem that he's receiving from the sweet darshan of Krishna and the humility. He's thinking, Kalpam, I bow down to you till the end of this universe. Why? Because I am the most wretched person. If any devotee on any planet, you know that we all have short lifespans. We can be born millions of times in the life of Lord Brahma. But in a few lifetimes we can develop bhakti and go back home, back to Godhead. But Lord Brahma, even if he develops bhakti, he can't go to the spiritual world until the end of the universe. Because he lives for the whole 311 trillion years. Right? So Brahma's just saying, I'll be the last one out of here. So I'm just going to bow down to you until the end of the universe. I'll watch all the other devotees going to the spiritual world and entering into your Lila, and I'll still be here. But I'll be bowing down to you. Akalpam. Kalpa, also one meaning of akalpa in Sanskrit is ornament as well. I'm bowing down even to your gunja earrings. And your ornaments that you find in the forest. Arkam. Arkam means the sun, but Arka is also the name of a flower. I just saw this flower actually in Jagannath Puri. It's an Arka flower, but this Arka flower has no fragrance and you shouldn't offer it to Krishna. So this is, of all the flowers in Vrindavan, the Arka flower, that's just the worst one. Of course, but it's in Vrindavan, so it's the least qualified of all the flowers, with Brahmaji saying, I bow down even to the humble Arka flower in your Vrindavan forever. till the end, until as long as the sun shines, as long as this universe exists. And then Brahmaji, he did parikrama of Krishna and got onto his swan, and then he flew away. Then Krishna came, and again, and his friends who were sitting there, they'd been sitting there for a whole year, and still all their food was fresh, it didn't go rotten. Yogamaya protected everything. And they thought they had the experience that Krishna had just gone, and a few seconds later he'd just come back, even though a year had passed. So, in this way, our wonderful Sri Krishna performs these pastimes, and through these pastimes he gives us so many teachings, so many siddhantas, and practically illustrates the love he has for his devotees and the love the devotees have for Krishna. And this katha is not a description of the lila. This is the lila. Those who will hear with a pure heart will see it while they are listening. Asaishu teksitam patana runata pongsa. Brahmaji said, those whose hearts are saturated with devotion, they see you through their ears while listening to Harikatha. So in this world, there are many loving relationships. Let's say husband and wife. But this relation is upadik. In other words, these two souls were not related to each other, and the priest did a ceremony, exchanged garlands, said some mantras, and now by mantra, the wife said, Swaha, she offered herself to the husband, and so now there's a relationship there. But this relationship was then put on outwardly, externally. And because it's upadik, it will be temporary, and when that upadi, that designation disappears, then the relationship is over. Whatever relationship you have with your family members is due to the body. If one body or both of the bodies, one of the bodies or both of the bodies die, then you'll go somewhere else, and then you'll just have the same relationship with another soul somewhere, like this, based on the upadi of the body. So all of these relations are actually not factual, not real. But we see in this pastime that when Krishna became the calves and became the boys, then all the mothers and cows loved them in the same way that they love Krishna. Because they always love Krishna more than their own calves and more than their own boys. Because Krishna is the actual object of love. The Upanishads say our body is dear to us because Atma, the soul, is present in it. Right? So if you love any place, I love this place, this is where I was born. But it's because of the body. But you love the body because your Atma is in it. If your Atma weren't in it, you wouldn't love this body. So this love is coming because the presence of the Atma. But there's a reason why you love your Atma. Because Paramatma is there. And that relation between Atma and Paramatma, who is just a part of Krishna. So you can imagine what is the nature of love for the Atma of Bhagavan, for Sri Krishna. So that relationship is not upadik. All relationships are unnatural. But the relationship with Krishna is eternal and real and natural and spontaneous. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Krishna Sambandha, it's the first teaching. Krishna Sambandha. And how can you get it? Bhakti Abhideya. And what is the goal? Prem, Prayojan. Mahaprabhu in one sentence gave the essence of all the Vedas. Krishna Sambandha, know your context. We are all related with Krishna only. And everything else will disappear like a puff of smoke in a dream. Bhakti Abhideya, that's the process to attain the goal of our life. And Prem, Prayojan, the ultimate goal, the Prayojan is love. So this pastime is to teach that. When Krishna became the boys and became the mothers, then, the calves, then the mothers and the cows, their love increased. They thought, this is my son, but they loved that boy as much as they love Krishna. But because all these boys are like Angsa, parts of Krishna, and he's Angsi, the origin of them, wonderful thing happened. When their love for their children increased to the same point that they love Krishna, then their love for Krishna went even higher. So don't think that Krishna was only drinking their milk in the form of the boys and that was it. There were also extensive repercussions of this lila. in the future, because when their love for their sons went up, then when the sons came back in, they loved the sons the same amount, but they loved Krishna even more. Now one may say that if Krishna became the sons, then he imitated them exactly in their form, their size, their tone of voice, their activities. So he should have imitated them and loved the mothers in the same amount that the boys loved their mothers. And so then, because love is equal on each side, love is never one-sided, so then the mothers should have loved Krishna in that form the same way that they loved their sons, because Krishna was exactly imitating the sons. But Krishna couldn't do that because he's under control of their love. They naturally love him more than they love their sons. So when Krishna became their sons, then they naturally loved him. Krishna couldn't love them less. He was controlled by their love. And then their love for him also went up. So there are many elements in this lila. You can hear it again and again. You can hear Brahma Stuti again and again. You'll not come to the end of it. Krishna is Kovaiti Bhumam. We're going to more Brahma Stutis. So it will take forever. So I'm going to stop there. I'm praying to my Harikatha. Please take rest. I'll tuck you in bed. Harikatha, please go to sleep for today. And please wake up tomorrow and tell us all about the glories of Rai Ramananda.